I'm finally settled in my new house. Can you believe I had internet before I had groceries? Where are my priorities? I guess on all the social media websites, when it says what are the 5 things you can't live without, I'd have to put internet as number 1. But this whole moving process, it started last year. And it happened finally because I saved my money. That's something my dad always taught me. No matter what your income is, you should never spend as much as you make every month. You gotta save, you gotta tuck some away. And that's what I always do. I rarely ever buy things. And so whenever it's time to buy something, I can really get quality. I can splurge, I can get what I need, what I want. And you know what I wanted a year ago? I wanted a new car. I got my car for free when I was 17. My dad gave me a car. And it's a good car. It's a 1997. Actually, we don't really need to talk about the model, the make. But I got it. It's a 1997. I made a few modifications. Nothing crazy. I tinted the windows. Not illegally. Because I don't want to get pulled over. I don't want to be talking to cops, baby. I don't want to be talking to cops, baby. And I have a few friends that have gotten pulled over because their tents were too dark and they had to pay a fine. I don't want to pay a fine, baby. And I also had to replace the speakers because in the car I had, the speakers, all of them were pretty much so low. Even if you turn it up all the way, you could barely hear it. So I swapped that out with some new speakers. And I also had to put in a CD player because it had a tape player, you know. And the car that I have, it's a good car. I got a lot of memories. You got senior year, prom, college, all in between, all up until now. But that car, it's a 1997 and this is 2012. That's a very old car. It has 103,000 miles on it. So depending on who you talk to, one person might say, wow, 100,000 miles, it's time for a new ride. While somebody else might say, wow, 100,000 miles? You got another 100,000 miles to go. Crank that thing up to 200,000 miles. This car has been treating me pretty good. I have had to replace parts, of course, and I broke down about 4 times. I might make a commentary about the 4 breakdowns I've had. Let me know if you want to hear that. So since high school, I've just been saving my money, all my hard-earned money. It's something that my dad always taught me, so I've just been doing it. I don't really buy things. And it's funny because a lot of people I know, they spend their money on a lot of different things. I know a girl that spends $900 a month on weed. That's crazy, right? What is she doing? Is she selling it? What is she doing? I don't know, and I don't smoke, so don't even make those comments. I have a friend that spends all their money on electronics. So when the iPhone 4 came out, got it right away. The iPhone 4S got it right away. When the iPhone 5 comes, gonna get it right away. All electronics. Some people spend all their money on shoes. They got every single Jordan in every single color. Some people spend all their money on clothes. I mean, the list goes on and on. People spend their money on a lot of different things. And I don't spend it at all. Since my car is so old and I just graduated from college, I'm looking at my bank account like, what am I gonna do with all that money? So my first instinct was, hey, I'm gonna get a car. And this process was crazy because I didn't even know what car I wanted to get. I have all this money to buy a car and I don't even know what kind of car I wanted to get. So I took about 2 to 3 months just researching different kinds of cars. Should I get a convertible? Should it just be a sedan? What about an SUV? I'm just weighing all the options. I don't even like SUVs, but I was weighing all the options and I'm looking at things. And then I said, okay, I think I know what kind of car I'm gonna get. So then I started going online and building the kind of car I wanted, adding in the features I want. I'm not gonna max everything out, but there are some things I wanna add on to the starting price. And that's when it hit me. I looked at the price of this car and I'm just thinking to myself like, wow, that's really expensive. I could buy a house with that kind of money. And I don't even know why I didn't think about getting a house in the first place. I don't know why I thought car first when I looked at my bank account. I should have been thinking house, right? Because the way the market is right now, this is the best time to buy. You're gonna get a steal, and that's what I got. I got a steal. This is the first episode of me getting a steal. And the kind of car I was gonna get would actually be worth more than the house I was currently living in. So that would have been a new move. I've heard enough stories about that. Don't ever buy a car that costs more than your house. That doesn't make any sense. That's a new move. And so it hit me. I said, okay, why don't I focus this attention and this energy and this thinking process over to houses? And really, it's just all about being mature. Like, I was thinking car because I was still in kid mode. I was still in living at home mode, right? Why? Why is that? I just graduated college. Why was I still in that mode? I don't know, but I quickly got on track in the right direction and I made a Smoove move. I could only imagine what my neighbors would have thought if I had a car, the car that I was gonna get parked in front of the house that I was living in. It just wouldn't look right. And also it'd probably get stolen because in that neighborhood, people don't have cars in that price range. They have nice cars, but not in that price range. And also it just wouldn't have made sense. Like, let's say I'm picking somebody up and then I'm taking them to my house. They're gonna be like, what? You drive this car, but you live in that house. You see, it doesn't make sense. And so I realized that doesn't make sense. It was time for me to do what makes sense. And I feel lucky. I always feel like I'm so lucky, even in this video game, when I'm playing the things that are happening. How did he not see me moments and all this stuff? It's crazy. Like, how am I getting so lucky? And I so happen to get lucky. Right now, the market is way down. These houses, this house that I got is not in reach if the market was up. Because the market is down, it's in reach. If it was up, I wouldn't even be looking at a house like this. This is the time to get a house. I can always get a car. I can get a car next year. I can get a car at the end of this year. There's no rush. But the house, want to go and steal something right now. This is the best time. If you can buy, you buy right now. These interest rates, the prices, they're never going to be this low again. Am I right or am I wrong? This is episode 1. This is how it started a year ago. And now that my mind was focused on getting a house, I had to save for an additional 6 months to prepare for that big payment. So episode 2 is coming soon.